The Toa have defeated the evil Skull Grinder. Beneath the ancient city, the protectors discover 6 elemental creatures. Umarak the Hunter is attempting to trap these creatures. The Toa must gain new powers in order to unite with the creatures and defeat Umarak. This is Bionicle Week 3, United for Battle. Day 6. Pohatu, Uniter of Stone, and Ketar, Creature of Stone.
Hello, this is Sadat here, and welcome back to Bionicle Week 3, United for Battle. Today we'll be taking a look at Pohatu, Uniter of Stone, and Ketar, Creature of Stone. The last Toa and the last creature of this wave. So without further ado, let's begin. Here we have set number 71301, Ketar, Creature of Stone. This is an interesting case. First, let's talk about his trap that he comes with. This is a very sandy, stone-based trap. And you can see it's got a nice little scorpion tail on the back, plus little legs that do move. And of course the trap opens and closes. Very similar to what we've seen, but very different at the same time, which is really, really nice. I love how each of the creatures have a different trap. Makes this a lot more interesting than getting the same skull spider multiple times. Alright, let's move on to Ketar. Now Ketar, I'm just going to come out and say, kind of sucks. You might notice one of the first of his problems is his function is kind of weighed down and it just kind of freely swings. But let's look at the good things. The headpiece here is in, partial silver and trans lime green, so really cool there. I'm not really sure trans lime green is the right color or not. I don't know. Anyways, you also got the blades in a different color now, which is pretty cool. Plus these little armor bits in new colors. And everything else is just either recolors that I don't know are new recolors or just parts you see everywhere else. So there is that. But taking a look at him in full, he is a scorpion. As you can see, he's got the scorpion look here with the tail. Each of his legs are ball jointed, which is pretty nice. And his head is on a double ball joint, so that's really good. The tail up here actually does have 2 points of articulation, so it's kind of beating Skull Scorpio and being a good scorpion. And then you get to the function. Now the function, you waggle this back and forth, and the arms waggle back and forth. Unlike Iker and Uxar with their wing flapping functionality, this just doesn't work too well. First of all, you got open axle parts here. I really wish this was sized better somehow. Maybe just a spacer piece back here to push these forward. But this really just doesn't serve much purpose. He's got these 2 giant blades that he can, rapidly swing, I guess. But when you go to combining him with Pohatu, they really serve no purpose at all. So it kind of seems like this was the creature that was put together out of time constraints or something. It just doesn't seem like it's well thought out. Also, I mean, there does an extra point of articulation there, so this tail is really articulated. But he's really off balance, and this is just kind of not helping. These blades are really annoying. They are ball jointed here. They do have a ball joint connection, so you can pose them. That is something. They can be that, but then that looks even dumber. It's just this is hard to. You can lock it down, which is the good part. Is you can lock it down, but if you want it to look like an actual scorpion type tail, then it's going to be up like that, which just doesn't work too well. But luckily, you can just plop this down and it kind of locks it in place, sort of. So there is that. But yeah, this is the most poorly thought out function, I think, out of all 6 creatures. And Ketar really is the weakest of them. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. He sucks. Compared to things like Akita with her awesome cannons and stand and really nice, thoughtful details like that, or say Melum with his giant claws, or the fact that Melum and Tarak have different gimmicks despite being a similar build, Ketar just seems underwhelming in that respect, that he just isn't as good as the other 5 creatures are. Which is a real shame, because he's the one stinker out of the creature line. Here we have set number 71306, Pohatu, Uniter of Stone. Now, this set is pretty cool overall. I gotta say, Pohatu really is always a Toa I will like, for various reasons, but not like for color scheme, because brown is just kind of weird. Luckily, most of the brown has been replaced with tan, so he's got tan colors, which look a lot better, I think, when it comes to a color scheme. But taking a look at Pohatu here, he's got, of course, let's get this out of the way. I've done this for all the other videos. So, of course, in the middle of his forehead here on his mask and on his chest, he has the original Pohatu Nuva symbol. So that's pretty neat. I do like that detail. If it is just a it's not necessarily a callback. It's not necessarily referencing anything in general, but it's just nice to see the Nuva symbols on these upgraded Toa. Plus, they're all over the packaging. I'm kind of curious if they actually do connect back to the original Nuva symbols and somehow this reboot is in the future something. I don't know. We'll see what LEGO has in store. But looking at Pohatu himself, he's got the staff issue that Golly has in that you need to separate his staff to use any of his articulation. But articulation is quite good. Neck, shoulders. The shoulders are kind of similar to Liwa's, except they're in reverse, so that they actually are a more intricate build, but they look a lot better because they're jutting out from the sides of him instead of forcing themselves in. Elbows, wrists, really like this trans clear here, this the clear green there. Hips, knees, ankles, and of course the function with the waist, which gives him a waist swivel. I love the waist swivels. Now let's talk about his weapon. His weapon here is a staff, spear thing, and it actually has something pretty cool. Of course, you got the blade piece here, which comes with Ketar as well. But over here, you can notice on this chain is a Coley ball. The old Coley ball piece that Pohatu came with in his original Toa Mata form back in 2001. It is back. It is here. It is attached to the end of his weapon, which I think is pretty cool because now he's got a sword, but he's also got a flailing. He's got a flail here, which is pretty sweet. I think they can just kind of flail a Coley ball around. Really neat to see. Really nice callback to Pohatu's origins, and really nice to just have. I think it's really cool that piece has come back after so long. But in terms of comparing Pohatu to past selves, while I don't feel like comparing them back to the original Toa Mata and Toa Nuva, I have been comparing the Toa to their 2015 master versions. Pohatu was really short last year. He's gotten a lot taller now, and he fits in with the Toa better. Pohatu looked really tiny compared to the rest of the Toa, and I think that his new height really helps him out in looking part of a team. And I'm hoping that because they are uniters, the Toa will be more united in 2016 than they were in 2015, which would help for their more unified looks. But overall, you can see that he went from having boomerangs and a knife to a sword and a Coley ball, so that works. And the color scheme, like I said, is now tan and silver instead of brown and silver, which I think really helps overall. They also took away the asymmetricalness of him having one clear arm with a shoulder pad and one regular arm. So now it's all symmetrical over here, with a lot of trans green, which is really nice. Plus, of course, brown here to match the mask. And overall, just an overall grand improvement. And just comparing to Toa, because I haven't done this, this is kind of a mess. And you don't realize, it looks really good when you first see the Toa Masters, but when you see Uniters, and you realize they're a lot slimmer and they figured out how to incorporate parts a lot better, it's kind of interesting. Also, open ball joints was really weird. But that is pretty much it for Pohatu, Uniter of Stone, aside from his one bonus accessory. So let's remove this mask here and give him his golden one, which actually I think looks pretty good, and mostly because the trans green matches the trans greens, so you have this nice look. I think this is probably the only $15 Toa that looks really good with the gold mask on. And as two become one, Pohatu becomes kind of a cluttered mess. This is really not Pohatu's fault, and more so Ketar's. When you're just attaching Ketar like this, it looks kind of messy. So, in order to clean this up a bit, lock down the scorpion tail best I can, kind of fold it up best I can as well. See if I can just kind of get it there. I like to actually position these blades to be kind of like wings almost, because that just kind of gives it a better look. And adjust the legs to be other wings like this. And now you have united Pohatu. You certainly could wrap the legs around his body, similar to what I did with Uksar, but this I think looks better for him, just having these wings. And the thing is the function does not look good at all. So I try to lock that down best I can. fact, we could rotate the scorpion tail back and try to hook it up in here. And that actually locks down the tail gimmick a little better. So you can mess around with this. I do like messing around with the way the creature limbs work. But overall, it looks really cool, I think, when he's like this. But he is incredibly back heavy. The function has no function. It really doesn't. And the combination does get pulled down by Ketar a little bit. But Pohatu on his own, I think, is super solid. So overall, this is kind of a mixed bag for two different sets. Pohatu is actually really great and probably my favorite of the $15 Toa. Ketar sucks, and I don't like him much at all. Like, he's not good. While the other 5 creatures were really good, Ketar isn't. And that is just a fact, that you put a good set with a bad set, and it kind of makes an awkward combination that I don't feel comfortable about. I almost want to give Pohatu another creature so that he can actually have a good combination to match how good he is. So, kind of a mixed bag here. Ketar is the creature you buy if you're getting the other creatures and want to have all your Toa with backpacks. Pohatu is a set you buy if you have $15 and want a cool Toa. And that's pretty much all I can say. It's kind of a mixed bag. I'm glad these two weren't in a 2-pack, because I think that would have been a really overall mediocre set, and that probably wouldn't have been good for the line. So, overall, that is what I think about Pohatu, Uniter of Stone, and Ketar, Creature of Stone. Stay tuned for tomorrow as we wrap up Bionicle 3 United for Battle with this year's villain, Umarak the Hunter. Till next time, this is Sandat saying goodbye.